Oh, God, guys, this stupid narrowboat we purchased 1.5 years ago is still some way off being quite ready. I'm blimmin' jobless, I'm relying on my savings that are slowly running out, and I have an annoying tendency of winding up the lovely Becca. Watch her panic! She's panicking, look! Who has kindly nominated herself to cruise the entire British network when the blimmin' thing is done. Until then, she needs to get the work done, because I am absolutely useless at DIY, and yeah, she's a bit better, I suppose. And guess what? Yeah, the leak's back. Hi guys, it's your leaky, rusty, horrible little best friends, Crobot. What the hell am I going on about?
Ahoy!
Go on, Becks, you go. I'll leave it down to you.
So, for those of you who have followed our journey so far, you'll know that we've had a few, many in fact, leaky issues on board the Whistling Wombat.
So I know a lot of you guys have seen this, but for those that are new here, we purchased the boat a couple of years back, and 2 days after we discovered this horrendous leak under the floorboards. After months and months of searching, probably about a year, we realised that water was coming in from the stern area and it was dripping down here into the bow thruster, which is, yeah, it doesn't function, it's buggered. We don't really need it in there. Either that or we get it fixed, really. There's your problem.
We managed to sort out one of those leaks simply by putting a cratch cover on the bow of our boat, which stopped the rainfall, which was actually, we found, was getting in through the well deck.
Yeah, did it stop every leak on the Whistling Wombat?
It did not. Because we are now still finding that we're getting a small amount of water in our bow thruster area. So we know that it's definitely not rainfall. So this basically leaves us with two options. We've either got a leaky bow thruster or it's condensation.
And we're heading towards the old condensation Rooney, aren't we? Condensation Rooney, how would you say it? Condaroony. So in today's episode, we're going to step aside from the refit of the narrowboat and we're going to concentrate on trying to work out where the water's coming in from. Got the guitar back in the house. Can get Becks to play us a lovely little song later. Hey Becks?
No, you should play a song.
Me?
Share your musical talent with the world.
I don't want to hear a smelly old man. Smelly young handsome man play. A smelly horrible little man play sing guitar, do you? You wanna see the beautiful young Becca like play a beautiful lovely song. Becca's played like loads of little gigs and stuff in pubs. They cheer, the crowd go wild.
You've toured.
I've done a couple of dates in a little punk band. We were called Hostages for Smack.
Take from that what you will.
Yeah, I do know a Hostages for Smack one. Fight for Your Right, I called it. And it ain't the Beastie Boys one.
I was gonna say, you gotta fight.
We'll play it for you later. That's not quite what they want, is it? What on earth is that doing out there? Who brought that? Find out what's going on here. Who brought that?
Oh!
Huh?
We got Henry.
Get it gone, I don't want it here. I'll just leave him outside. That's where he belongs, in fairness. Huh?
Oh, Henry.
I never want to hear you say the H word ever again. Okay, it's that exciting time again, guys. Welcome back to the weekly check of the bow thruster area. We're going in here again, ladies and gentlemen. See what we're up against today. Yep. Not as much on that side. Becca's put these little lids in here to see if any trickles are coming down from the top. Up here. For some reason, we're always getting a little build-up of water down here in the bow thruster area. I mean, we definitely had a leak up on the well deck area, and now we've stopped that by putting the cratch covers up there. But there's still a little bit of water getting in there now, so I mean, this is the thing with boats, isn't it? There's lots of little leaks. It's never just one leak. It can come in through the windows, it can come in through the hatches on the roof. There's always little areas where you're going to get little leaks on narrow boats. Expert advice from Chrissy Crobot there. Boats always leak. Convinced now it's probably condensation because we haven't got these automated bilge pumps. We had a bit of snow and a bit of cold weather the other week, so obviously the river is absolutely freezing. You've got that running through the bow thruster tube, and look what lives next to the bow thruster tube. This little bad boy. So he's piping hot, he's blaring, and then you've got the freezing cold river water coming through here, the bow thruster tube. Our little log burner, literally like under half a metre away from it, so you've just got a complete different temperature change there. You've got the freezing cold from the tube, you've got the piping hot from the stove, and there's a third one too, Bex told me.
Just the ambient air temperature in that little compartment itself as well, from which there's no ventilation either, so you don't get any airflow in there. When you look up into the ceiling, it is covered in droplets.
I don't know, maybe it's just wishful thinking. So let's start off with getting the water out. Can you grab the Titan's penis, please, whilst you're down there?
You'll have to ask permission first.
Shall we multi-use him over out around the little area by the stove as well, because it's quite sort of... Yeah. I don't think you've seen him being multi-used. You've only seen him like one or the other. Maybe we'll celebrate his multi-use.
The ease in which he slips from dry to wet.
I don't really want to every week do a massive like Titan montage, but this feels like it needs a big Titan montage of like taking out his bladder and letting him rip. Preparation in getting a good suck out of my wet vac, the Titan, is essential. So we'll just quickly run you through the two settings that the Titan's got. So first of all, we do the dry vac. Okay, so that's your standard issue dry vaccing done. That's all the Henry the Hoover can really do. Let's see how the Hoover gets on with his wetness setting, his wet vac setting, his... Dunno, just... Remove the Titan's bladder gently. Get Becca to remove the Titan's dirty dust hat and replace it with Mr. Titan's beloved swimming hat. For those that have experienced how enjoyable a good vacuuming session can be, you've experienced nothing until you've wet vacked. Next, we need to determine how much water was found in the selected watery area. So, a moment of truth, how much water have we got in there? This is... I mean, you don't really, but good to know. So not a great deal. So there's not one single air vent in the bow thruster area, sort of allowing air to get in there to stop condensation. Absolutely no vents on this little thing here. There's no vents here. I mean, we're going to have to put some in there at some point. That's if it is condensation. I mean, it's just a puzzle, isn't it? A big puzzle, but it's got to be. I mean, you can see it in there. I mean, that's a tiny amount. I'll try and show you in the coming months how bad it gets down there with the condensation, and give you a bit of an idea how much that could build up over the course of, you know, a year. I'm telling you, it just builds up in there. Hard to work out exactly where. Oh, there's my lovely little bit of filling. My lovely filler. You can see condensation up there, you see? There's a little bit there.
What are you doing, Rockstar?
Huh?
What are you doing, Rockstar?
Nothing.
Feel like playing me a little song.
I thought you were going to play a song. So people kept sort of saying that we should try and play a few little songs in there. Becks is the good one, really. I mean,
rubbish. You're the musician.
So we brought the guitar out. I mean, I've written loads of my own songs and stuff, but I don't really know which ones to play. And Becks was joking earlier when we were saying about this whole punk band that I was in. Hostages for Smack we were called. We done a tiny little tour of Amsterdam and Belgium actually. No, we done 2 little tours abroad, didn't we? 2 European tours, man! And then we were on the UK circuit for ages as well. But we were like a noise punk band, like lots of shouting and stuff. It was all a bit crazy, really. But this was one of the slower ones that I wrote, and it was called Fight for Your Right. 2005 I wrote this. You wanna fight for your right to party! You want freedom, come give up your guns, but you won't drop your honor, you're just waiting for wars to come. And the sea lies, the sea disguise. You watch the BBC and they'll feed you with their last letter. He's coming home to his family's home, only to arrive and stand there alone. They say he's coming home to claim the throne to England's darks, but they didn't say in a bar. Wake up, Great Britain. You gotta stand up for your own right. You gotta stand up for your own right. Wake up, Great Britain. You gotta stand up for your own right. You gotta stand up for your own right. I mean, I can't give him more than that. They'll start clicking off, won't I? But that was the slowie that we done.
So the reason that the condensation argument is winning out at the minute is because actually when we have a closer look at the bow thruster area, there are so many things kind of lining up for like the perfect condensation type of scenario. There's no ventilation, there's loads of heat exchanges, and also having gone away and done a bit of research on this, we've come across loads of forums actually with this exact same problem, and it's really surprising what people's experiences are and just how much water they've ruled out completely that it's not a leak. And it's just incredible actually how much condensation can collect and what that equates to in terms of like litres of water in your boat bilges over the year kind of thing. So it seems to be a strong culprit at this point, so let's hope that's what it is, and if so we can sort of work with that and make the bow thruster area a less wet sort of place.
I think it's definitely a leak now, actually.
I don't know.
Well, it might still be condensation actually, but we're just going to run a few little tests on this area to try and rule out the leak. Test number 1 is going to be to fill up the water tank at the front, which sits behind the bow thruster area. Now, when we bought the boat, 2 days in, we discovered the leak. We contacted the seller and he said he'd actually filled the water tank up at one point and then discovered water later at the back of the boat. So we always thought it could be the water tank, but we've coated the water tank. We've been inside the water tank. There's no sort of holes really in the water tank. And we've run a test in earlier vlogs as well where we filled it up and then checked it sort of 4 months later and it had exactly the same amount of water in there. But we're gonna go in there again. We're gonna fill the bad boy up full this time and we're gonna see if there's any trickling going on down here in the bow thruster area. I think it could even be this little thing leading to the bow thruster. Yeah, that's gonna be connected somehow to the propellers. So there's gonna be some sort of connector there. So we've put a few little things down here to determine if any water is dripping through from the beautiful bow thruster thing. If you look on the roof, it's damp to the rear, Beck's discovered, and then closer to us, it's not. And you can actually see a bit of condensation there now, it's dripping. You know, that much condensation could actually cause like that amount of water coming in. A lot of people don't think it could. We think it could. The puzzle continues. Always glove up, guys, always. I ain't going in this smelly little area without gloves on. A smelly little area for a smelly little man. And this bleeding place again. Okay, step 1. Get Becca to get the lid off for me. Yeah, I don't want to be a smelly little man, so get Bex to do it. In fairness, I couldn't get the bolts off. I couldn't get them off. It's very smurfy in here. So we're going to load this tank up to full and yeah, then we can determine if any water is coming into the bow thruster area, which sits just behind it, and then we can eradicate that once and for all. Right, put it in. Okay, here we are in the bow thruster area. So far it doesn't look like it's anything from the water tank, which is good, so we can cancel that out. Good, one off the list. And yeah, I'm really struggling with these bolts, so guess who had to do it? How you getting on? So we do need to completely dry it out in the bow thruster area. And what better narrowboat hack than the Pampers? I mean, if you've got a narrowboat, this is 101 again. I'm going in with the puppy pads, Becks. This is actually how a true narrowboater does it, isn't it? Often it's the Pampers, any leaks or moisture in the bilges, we're using puppy pads. And when this is all dry, we're going to treat it in here with a proper rust repellent, and we're going to paint it all up and make it look lovely. I mean, obviously we need to make sure that no more water's getting in here too, so we're going to leave the old door off, and we're going to let air get in there so there's no chance for condensation to get in. Right, we're done. So we got the Pampers in there, guys. Narrowboat 101 all the way up there. We've got them all down here. I keep bumping into people that are telling me there's no way it's going to be condensation at that amount. My argument is, if I sat here all day looking at the bow thruster area, waiting for any sort of leakage to come, no leakage would come, because it's a really slow process. Apart from every single day, there's droplets on the roof in there, there's droplets on the side, so there's more condensation going on in there than any leakage. I know it's a lot of water. Watch this space. We're going to keep the stairs off, and we're just going to keep an eye on that, like daily now. Here we go again. And if you remember, under here there were some wet patches coming from the top, and it's leading from what looks like to be inside here, which is where the bow thruster batteries are. So we'll take a quick look. We don't really know what we're doing here now. It's worth having a look, isn't it? I'm telling you guys, we have the best subscribers in the world over any other platform on YouTube, don't we? It's so easy to subscribe. A lot of people might think you've got to pay for it. Literally, all you've got to do is click the little subscribe thing at the bottom of the screen. It's completely free, and it just helps us grow the channel.
So whilst we're talking about subscribers, we'd just like to give a massive shout out to the lovely, lovely Terry, who came down to meet us this weekend. We were just blown away by such beautiful kindness from him. He not only took us for lunch and a beer at the pub just up the way, but he brought us some Easter eggs. Well,
in the form of 2 big bags of smokeless charcoal.
No, coal. Just
coal. God, I'm sorry. Thanks, Terry! I'll just play you the latest song I wrote. I'll just see how it comes out, and we'll have a few little snippets in there. And if I can remember a tiny little bit of it. I'm your rearview mirror in the back of your conscience. When our teeth collide, you know it's alright. You know it's alright. You know I wanna fight. I wanna show that I'm still alive. I wanna show that I'm not quite done. Don't know where it goes after that.
I think you should play me a cover song.
Which one? What artist do you want?
Ooh, surprise me.
Bruce Springsteen, the boss. What do you want? You want The Cure? Def Leppard? Saw you with a smile, cut you like you wanted me to, caught that little child inside of me, and such a part of you. What's a boy supposed to do? The killer in me is the killer in you, my love. The killer in me is the killer. Should have been a rock star. Should have been a rock star. Sign me up. Here am I. Now who is it? Who am I getting? Which one? Warner, baby. But I really wanted to be a rock star as a kid. Like, well, every kid does, don't they? Like, but we played gigs at school, like at the school, you know, school concert and stuff, and threw my guitar in the air. The drummer booted over the drum kit. There's like 10 people there or something. The guitar was like an 800 quid guitar. I only had it a few weeks, but in the name of rock and roll, I wanted to, you know, put on the show and stuff. There you go. Look what happened to the kid. Now he's just living on a boat with a massive leak, and you know he doesn't have a mortgage. He hasn't done much with his life. That's sort of the failed rock star thing, isn't it? I suppose. So don't make it a failed Narrowboat channel, guys. Please like and subscribe and share. God, that was a good plug, wasn't it? Too much. Too much. We definitely think it's condensation.